Hi, welcome back. Today we're talking about the nose beauty, if you will. Now that's quite ironic because I was named after Samantha the witch from Bewitched, whose key attribute was in fact her ability to wiggle her nose and make stuff happen. Sadly, I am not blessed with such a skill, but I do think it's an area that is a cause for concern for lots of people. But I've never seen an article written about the beauty of the nose. Maybe I'm mad. Anyway, why is the nose important? Well, firstly, it is the most prominent part of our face. So whether we realize it or not, when we look at a face, we are actually gathering data from the most prominent part of the face. And I remember seeing a video with Violette where she talked about actively removing makeup from the nose, because if the nose doesn't look made up, then the impression will be that the rest of the face mustn't be made up either. So it's actually quite a good way of tricking the eye into thinking there is less cosmetic on the skin than there is. But I think it is also an important part of our skincare routine in terms of addressing the needs of the nose, and one that we can often forget about. I think a lot of patients actually, when I look at their skin after their first follow-up appointment, particularly if we're talking about issues that relate to the pores, whether it's acne or if it's the middle of the face with redness and rosacea, the nose often gets missed when it comes to applying cosmetics. So I have taken, perhaps again somewhat bonkers in the way it comes across, to actually telling people how to apply products to their face to ensure that the nose doesn't get missed. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So what are the specific issues that affect this part of our face? Now, I think redness is probably one of the top issues that bothers people. The nose is certainly a part of the face that flushes bright red, and this can be a part of rosacea. Sometimes it's just a prolonged flush and not rosacea per se, but prone to redness, that can be really problematic because it's sort of in the center of the face and it really does grab the attention. Then you have pores, pesky pores. They can be clogged up, they can be big, like potholes and prominent, and they can also be source of blemishes. So it's not uncommon to get little acne flares around the nose, and that can be quite unsightly and hard to cover. And finally, there's shine. Shine on the nose is a constant bugbear for so many people, and it can often be a real challenge to tackle that cosmetically. And then the final thing is, a lot of people have trouble in the creases of the nose, and firstly, it can be quite unsightly, and secondly, it can actually cause a lot of interference when it comes to cosmetic application. There's nothing worse than seeing foundation collecting in that little gutter on the side of the nose. So how do we approach all of this? So I think the first thing, as I say, is certainly to consciously think about managing the skin on the nose whenever you're doing your skincare routine. And when I think about tackling those issues that are around the pore, I think about retinoids, I think about niacinamide, I think about azelaic acid to really tackle all those aspects of clogging, of bumpiness and texture concerns, of potential redness, and blemishes. So those three ingredients will tend to work beautifully together. But you have to remember to treat the nose. So literally I will get patients to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 13 dots in total whenever they're applying any skincare product to their skin that they want to actively treat the nose. And it's particularly important with those three actives when you're leaving leave-on products on your skin. Massaging product into all those surfaces to ensure even coverage. And then when it comes to avoiding that dry scaliness, I think that's often due to product collecting in the side of the nose. So it's often worth consciously wiping it clear. You will have still covered the area, but you're not leaving lots behind to stimulate irritancy and dry skin and redness that can be very hard to tackle, particularly the following morning if you're doing your retinoid step at night. The next thing I suggest you do is to think about actively moisturizing that little space there, because whilst you might be less keen to moisturize this area during the day because you're worried about shine or cosmetics slipping, you can comfortably do it at night, and that will give you hydration that will potentially last and ensure good makeup application the following day. I think that's really important. The next thing is to seek out products that sit well from a cosmetic point of view when it comes to things like tinted moisturizer or foundation or BB cream, whatever you're using for your coverage. I think using a beauty blender is an awesome way, again, to tackle this kind of bumpy, undulating surface. It reduces the risk of catching those little dry, flaky areas because you're not ruffling up the surface. So for me, a beauty blender has been an awesome way to start to apply cosmetics in this cosmetically sensitive area. I think it's fair to say that, but in a way that ensures you haven't got too much product left behind and that it doesn't disturb the surface of the skin. And then the final thing is, when it comes to shine management, I really don't think there are any products out there that particularly reduce oiliness as such. Unfortunately, the oil glands are deep in the skin, and we usually have to use oral medications like Accutane, contraceptive pills, spironolactone. These medications will reduce oiliness because they have an impact on the sebaceous gland function. The best that we can do is to use non-comedogenic products and to blot. And the final thing I've taken to recently is using a matte finish touch-up product on the go, like the one from NARS or the Tentadol stick from Lancome. So using a matte finish cream product means you're not drawing attention to this already prone to shine location, but you are getting a matte finish that looks more cosmetically elegant over the course of the day. And I think the way to embrace making up the nose is not too much product on here, like Violette says. I think that's an excellent tip. I hope that was helpful. I look forward to hearing your comments. Bye for now.